In the heart of British Columbia's interior, where the lakes run deep and the coffee runs stronger, the Canadian mountain men rise before dawn, armed not just with fishing rods, but with tackle boxes that could sink a canoe.
They're not just fishing for kokanee.
They're waging psychological warfare. Wedding rings, rubber squids, cut plugs, glow-in-the-dark spoons. Even one lure shaped like Elvis? They've got every lure known to man, plus 3 that might be illegal in Alberta, but doubtful. And still, the fish just stare from the depths like it's amateur hour. But mountain men don't quit. They swap lures like poker players and cast again, certain that this one's the magic bullet. Because out here, it's not just about catching kokanee, it's about not letting the kokanee win. In this episode, we will cover fishing for the prized kokanee. Just a few weeks earlier, they'd stood on the very same lake, ice auger in hand, proudly declaring, "The kokanee are beneath us, boys." Back then, the lake was frozen solid, and they drilled and fished like men possessed, pulling up nothing but worn-out bait and a single extremely confused muskrat. But now the ice was gone. The lake shimmered like a trap laid by nature herself, and the kokanee had returned, shimmering, smug, and slippery. "These fish," muttered Marshall, "they know. They remember." They laughed in our faces. One even flipped me off with its tail. We got unfinished business. Let's go remind them who's the boss.
You know, anytime you go fishing, it's always going to be like, what am I going to use today? What are the fish going to want today? Primarily in the pinks. For some reason, kokanee like pink. Not sure why, but they eat them up. And the nice folks at Graham Tackle sent me some of their kokanee stuff. So we'll try that out today. See how we do. Now, I started out with the little glow flasher and also this little kind of pink krill. I later switched over to the pink hoochie where I caught my first fish. So just charging up the glows. Yeah, we're on the water here early. So the sun hasn't came up quite yet, so throwing out the little bit of a glow helps. Just a bit of an attractant there. It's definitely what we do when we're ice fishing for kokanee, because we've ice fished on this lake as well. I mean, it's a similar setup you do, just you don't have the weight that you do when you're trolling. And then here you're just jigging up and down, and you can really see how the little flasher really sends out that flash, basically. The idea is it's mimicking a school of fish or bait, you know, the side of the silver of the fish. And it brings them in, and then the little dangly thing, it's like, ooh, gotta eat that. That looks like a tasty tidbit. Yummy. Tidbits. Timbits. Yeah, so anyway, the jigs you use ice fishing are usually smaller, on the small side, just because the fish are just not as prone to eat as much. They also, a lot of them have a glow built in, so you want to have something to charge them, but the glow really attracts them and they see that under the ice. When you're ice fishing, you can either fish in an ice tent, which gives you protection from the elements and stuff. It's a little warmer, get a heater going, you can see further in depth. But something about being outside is really nice because you can really witness nature and see an eagle drop down and grab some fish guts like this. When you're fishing for kokanee, it's really handy to have some form of fish finder. This is a really old school one I've got. It's the old hummingbird wide eye. I don't know how old it is. It's probably pushing 30 years or so, I would bet. But basically you put that on the side. There's a little transducer that hooks in the back of your boat, and you open this up and would suction that to the bottom of the boat, or the back of the boat, so it would hang down a little bit in the water, and it'll give you a little reading. I don't have it plugged in right now, but you would see you'd get a little indication of depth here, and if fish popped up, it would show you that and show you the depth. But it's really good to have. It's also good to have for ice fishing.
I've kind of rigged this up before to where it's on a pole across a separate hole than where I'm fishing, and get this down along the water, and it'll send out the signal. And it'll just tell you if there's anything around, or whether you need to move on, or whether you got some dead water, or you got a hot spot. So once again, this is a pretty old one, but oldies are sometimes still goodies.
The kokanee is basically a salmon who said, "Nah, I'm good," to the ocean and decided to live its best life in a freshwater lake instead. It's the homebody cousin of the sockeye salmon, smaller, sassier, and always ready to party in the cold, clear waters of Canada. Think of it as the introverted salmon that still manages to be the life of the lake.
Yeah, we basically trolled most of the time. We had a downrigger. I was just using a drop weight. So basically it was kind of attached here with this little release that you would have to hand release. So it got a little tricky as you reeled it up. You had to be able to, get it off quickly. You just squeeze it and it pops off. That's why having two people, it works out pretty good because you can assist as they reel it up. Here I was checking out some of the lure action just to kind of see what it was doing. Switched over to these cut plugs. The one thing about them is you can open them up and there's a little scent compartment in there. Kind of sponge that you can put like different stuff on it. The garlic seems to do pretty good with the kokanee. You put it in there and it puts out a little bit of a trail. It seems to attract them a little bit. And this is the plug that was mainly the hot plug of the day in the color. See a little bit of a sundog up there. Those are always fun to see. Didn't realize it until I was looking at the footage later. Yeah, as the day wore on, we kept going over the same school and pulled a few fish out of there. It seemed like they only wanted to bite when we were going one direction. Don't know if that was just due to sun refraction and flashing on the stuff, but yeah, these were some nice chunky kokanee. These were two of the bigger ones we got that day. Most of the other ones were on the smaller side, which is more the average size. This particular lake seems to have a few holdovers that got a little bit bigger here. So no complaints. They're all tasty. And here's what we ended up with the day. Two big chunkies, and the other ones were kind of standard kokanee sizes. Going to quit now. It's about noon. We met up at 4 in the morning, so it was an early start to get out here before the sun was rising. We ended up not getting really our first bite. Our fish landed around 7, and just sporadic throughout the day. Had another big rush around 11 o'clock. But yeah, good day. And this is, like I said, the lake we've ice fished on as well, so it's a little warmer than it was then, and a little easier to get around instead of dragging all your gear out there.
We hooked 5 solid kokanee, chrome bright, feisty little rockets, but we lost at least double that, maybe triple. Let's not talk about the one that swam off with the last of our dignity and our best lure. By day's end, we had enough for the pan, and nothing beats fresh kokanee sizzling in butter over the campfire, chased with a cold drink and laughter echoing off the trees. The mountains got their show, the lake got its tribute, and the table got its prize. A fine day by any measure. Until next time, Kokanee, we'll be back with sharper hooks and saltier language.
Well, look who decided to swim back smelling like a seaweed smoothie. How's the big scary ocean?
Oh, just dodging whales, sharks, and fishing boats while you're up here sipping glacial melt like it's a spa day.
Yeah, I chose the lake. No salt in my gills, no barnacles on my butt, just peace, plankton, and privacy.
Privacy? You're basically in a fishbowl with a bunch of sunburned tourists peeing in it.
Says the guy who got lost for 2 years and came back with PTSD and a tattoo that says, "I love kelp."
It's called life experience, bro. You wouldn't understand. Your idea of adventure is swimming slightly left.
At least I don't have to explain to my kids why their dad looks like a deflated tube sock after spawning.
And yet, We're the legends. People write poems about us. You are mostly known for being confused with trout at barbecue grills.
Better to be a mystery fish than a sushi special. Enjoy your soy sauce coffin, pal.
Oh, please, enjoy your 12 cousins fighting over the same patch of gravel in your little hillbilly hot tub.
Hot tub. It's a glacially fed alpine paradise, thank you very much. Meanwhile, you've got cruise ships dumping buffet leftovers in your yard.
At least I've seen the world. You've seen a canoe.
And that canoe had beer in it. So who's really winning?